Hey guys, it's Jane. I'm here today to talk about this one, Outlaws of Time, The Legend of Sam Miracle. It's a brand new middle grade fantasy adventure story by N.D. Wilson. It's being released in April 19th in the States, April 26th in Australia. And I received an advanced copy through a competition on Twitter, and I loved this book. So I didn't pay for it. I got a free copy, but everything I'm going to say is my honest opinion. So just getting that out of the way first, let me tell you about Outlaws of Time. Our central character is Sam Miracle. Sam is an orphan living in a foster home in Arizona. He's 12 years old, and he's one of 12 boys living in the St. Anthony of the Desert foster home, which is a really fun setup, an initial sort of location. His guardians at the foster home are quite fun characters, and they have a daughter, Glory, who Sam has never met, even though he's been living here for 2 years, because Glory's parents don't trust her with the boys, or the boys with her, or something. She spends her life in boarding school, but she just happens on the particular day this story begins to be between boarding schools, and Sam and Glory meet for the first time. The other dude up here is the bad guy in the story. His name is El Buitre or something. It means the vulture in Spanish. And he is an evil Time Lord, basically. It's never fully explained in this volume how he gets his powers, but you can see he has 7 floating pocket watches, and using these pocket watches, he can control time. He is coming back over and over again to try and destroy Sam, because there's a prophecy that Sam is going to kill the vulture. Yet Sam has survived. We learn not too far into the story that this time loop, this fight between these two, has been going on for a century or more. And Sam doesn't actually remember this, because each time starts again, he loses his recollection of what's happened. So he is always living in the present, but having said that, he is retaining the damage and the scars from what's happened over this battle, this continuing battle. Not pictured on the cover is the other main character, Father Tiempo, the time-traveling priest, who is the sort of time magician or whatever, who happens to be on Sam's side. Again, his powers aren't really explained in the book, but it doesn't really matter. We've got kind of good versus evil. There's this battle that's been going on for 100 years, but we're jumped right into the middle of it. Sam doesn't remember what's going on, so we're kind of with Sam in learning what's going on. And the difference on this day is that for the very first time, Glory is involved in the fight. She just sort of stumbles into it, but it turns out that she is going to be quite an important piece in how this battle finally falls out. So that's the setup. There are 2 really interesting and unique plot devices that come into the story quite early. One is an old book. Gotta love a magic book inside a book. So there's this old battered paperback Western called The Legend of Poncho, which is Sam's favourite book. Glory's also read it, which is not surprising because, of course, Sam is really living in her family home. And one of their very first conversations is actually about the book. It's interesting that they have quite a different take on the book. She likes the ending, he hates the ending. And there's this sort of, it's an interesting dynamic that right from the word go, even though they are allies, they're independent from each other, and she looks at things differently from him. There's an ongoing conversation about the book, and the book is tied up in the battle between the vulture and Sam. Another really important plot device that's introduced very early is Sam's arms. So as the story opens, Sam is a virtual cripple because his arms have been broken in multiple places, and the bones have healed up wrong to the point that his elbows don't work. The story that he has heard is that he was involved in a train crash, and that this has happened presumably close to the time when his parents were killed a couple of years ago before he came to the foster home. So this is a kind of good versus evil, high stakes adventure story. It's very, very pacey. Things just keep happening. There's events on every page. It never really slows down. It's also beautifully written. The language is really evocative without using huge, long words. The intended audience of this is readers ages 8 to 12, which makes sense with our 12-year-old protagonist. But can I say that as an adult reader, there was enough substance in this to totally keep me happy. I am absolutely going to be giving this to my 9-year-old son to read, and I am very much looking forward to the next installment. Before I finish, I have to say that the close of the story, which of course I'm not going to tell you about whatsoever, has managed quite a trick in that it actually has a really satisfying conclusion to this book without a major cliffhanger, while still leaving the overall story open. So there's totally room for the next volume, but there's still a very satisfying ending to this story as kind of a single volume. So I'm sure you can tell from just the way that I'm talking, I really enjoyed this book. If you enjoy yourself middle grade adventure stories, I'd say just go and grab it for you. But if you have kids in your life, 8 to 12-year-olds who like an adventure story, I can highly recommend Outlaws of Time, The Legend of Sam Miracle. Anyway, that's it. I hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.